You know, I say it a lot that this podcast takes me all over the world. We've talked to artists from Australia, Canada, Texas, California, the Northeast, everywhere. And every now and then you just get to come back home where you're based out of. And that is tonight. And I'm super, super excited for that. This is Bar Conversations. I'm your host, Jonathan Green. And we have some amazing guests. They're from where I live now in Lexington, Kentucky. They are part of the group Magnolia Boulevard. Their self-titled debut LP, Magnolia Boulevard, is out November 28th. Let's welcome in Ryan Allen and Maggie Noelle.
Thanks for having us.
I love it. I love it. Like I said, a lot of fun on this one. I don't normally get to talk to people from Lexington. I've had a few close by, some Harrodsburg. I had a Harrodsburg, Jonathan Hutchinson. I've had a few Kentucky folks, Tyler Booth, and I'm forgetting her name, Britt Taylor. As well. So a lot of good Kentuckians on the show, but it's cool to have someone from Lexington. And because it's that, as folks know, I like to pair my drink for the night with our guests. And I couldn't think of anything better than some well-told glassware that is the Lexington town map, with a little town branch overproof from made right here in Lexington. So,
Look at you. Represented.
So I had to do that. Now I've got to ask my normal first question. Since this is Bar Conversations, what's your go-to drink these days? What you drinking tonight?
Well, Ryan and I we're fans of the hazy IPAs. We like a little hazy little thing that's like our go-to. I don't know if that's actually on our rider, but we put that we. No, you put, what'd you say, Ryan? We just wanted like a 6-pack of like a local hazy IPA.
Yeah,
So,
local preferred. We'll take what we can get.
yeah,
A lot of times
yeah,
we
we'll
get
take,
those because it seems like the hazy little thing is like the Bud Light of hazies or something. They're just everywhere. So,
Well, they're
yep.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Ryan, you're behaving yourself. What's your normal go-to drink if you can't find a hazy little thing?
I mean, I usually keep some Bush Lights at the house just to stay hydrated. But apparently I'm out. I just didn't even think about it. Went to get one before this, and the cupboard was bare. So I'm drinking water tonight.
The cupboard was bare.
The cupboard was bare.
Well, that means it's been well used, or at least used a time or two. Now, you talk about being able to, on your riders, put some local beer. When you guys do get to travel and have the time, obviously time is the key word there. Do you guys like to hit up the local, watering holes? What do you guys like to do?
Yeah, we spend a lot of times at gas stations, and that's about it, really. Hotel parking lots, Airbnb. But yeah, sometimes we get to. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Maggie.
if we get an off day, I feel like we generally try to find something cool in the area to do. But we don't really have a whole lot of time for extracurricular, or I'm trying to say extra activities. But
Extracurricular activities. There we go. It's hard.
that was a hard word.
It's late. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
I'm just really bad with words. Anyways, Ryan can tell you I don't know how to talk, so get ready for that. Um, but yeah, we try to do something fun, change it up. I wouldn't say I think because we play in a lot of bar scenarios, we don't really go bar hopping when we are out on the road though. But we will definitely partake in like a good local, wherever that local is, hazy IPA.
Yeah. And there are some cities and some bars that if we're there, we have to go. Like we're going to be in Charlotte coming up. So we always go to the Thirsty Beaver when we're in Charlotte.
There you go. That's a good example.
I like it. So you got your go-to spots on the travel when you're hitting the road. That's smart, and I love the hazy IPAs. I also got to know you guys do this thing called music, right? I think I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
When we have
something like
time.
that.
When you got the time, so I got to know. In addition to enjoying a hazy IPA, when did you guys start enjoying music? Was it at a young age, later in life? When did that happen?
Uh, for me, I really couldn't tell you when, you know. Um, I always gravitated to music over anything else, sports and what have you. But yeah, my grandparents, they were in church a lot, and both of them sang in the choir, which was, tiny little church, um, old regular Baptist, and not really that crazy and inspiring as a child to sing. Yeah, but I do think that I don't know, just being in that realm of things inspired me to want to sing and go ahead, Ryan. I'm just gonna keep with my run-on sentences if you don't stop me.
That's a $3 sentence, buddy. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like Maggie. Can't really pinpoint it. It just seems like something that's always been around. It's like an element, you know.
Yeah,
But I grew up in church too, small little country church, and yeah, and also my uncle played in a rock band, which was awesome. We get to see them sometimes. But yeah, another thing I read in the little pre-show notes was, Maggie and I both grew up playing bluegrass music, and I think it kind of just makes sense when you, as a small child, are singing those church hymns. It's just the same melodies, it's the same chord progressions. It's just three chords and the truth, man. It's country bluegrass music. It's a good place to start for people, but also at the same time, we're listening to rock and roll. So
yeah,
it had to come out eventually.
Well, and I was gonna say, you guys talk about, kind of having that love of music for a long time, and Ryan, you mentioned your uncle had a rock band. Maggie, you were in church. I mean, did y'all come from musical families though? Was anyone singing, playing instruments, or I mean, or were you the oddballs where that changed things up? I've had a few of those where they're like, no one could carry a tune, no one could play an instrument. I'm the weird one in the lineage. Sounds like though you guys came from some families that enjoyed music though.
yeah. I shared the same similarities with Ryan. I had an uncle that played in a rock band as well, and both of my uncles played the guitar. My mom also kind of piddled. She showed me how to play G, C, and D, but um, I don't think anybody really intended on doing anything serious with music. So,
Yeah, my uncle was the only one really, but he would always play at like Thanksgiving and these big family gatherings and stuff, and you would see people gather around like they look forward to it all year, like these sing along, and I could just see how happy it made people, and I think that's why I wanted to start doing it. I was like, this is something that's just like clearly just a good thing to be able to do, whether like no matter how far I wind up taking it, it's like a skill that I'd like to have. So,
well, and I was gonna say for you, Ryan, you got the keys, guitar, I believe. Do you have any other instruments in the repertoire that you can break out at any point?
I can play anything like pretty poorly. Uh, you know, I mean,
you can play the mandolin.
well, I started on guitar first, but I got really into mandolin in like college. Uh, and then I kind of always tinkered around on piano, but I really think that once you get one instrument down pretty good, it's really not that hard to play any of them. Like Maggie can play mandolin too, and she's
No,
better
I
at it
can't.
than I am. For real, it's really not that hard. You can just sit, count to 4, chop, whatever. But yeah, I mean, really, piano was something I just used to help me write songs. Uh, it's just an easy way to find new melodies. I like to write on instruments that I don't really know how to play very well, because I think you're forced to just like find one thing that works and do it over and over, and you kind of are forcing yourself into finding a melody. And if you just repeat it and don't get bored, you can eventually carve a song out of it. But I kind of faked my way into the first Magnolia practice because they were looking for a keyboard player, and I was like, oh, I can do it. Yeah, I was not very good at the time. But after that first practice, I looked around the room and I was like, these guys are all really good. Like I'm gonna have to practice this thing.
And lo and behold, you did. Now Maggie, you mentioned picking up the guitar. I think from your mom, played a few chords. What was it like picking up that at like age 8, and still playing it to this day?
Well, I'll just go ahead and say it proves that I, didn't really follow through with practice throughout the years, especially as a young one. I'm not like a shredder or anything. Let's get that clear. But yeah, that was always a nice thing to fall back on. I'll just say that, I never really started into songwriting until I was a little older. I mean, a lot older, a teenager rather. But I don't know. I still tell myself all the time I can get better. I can continue to get better. So I still feel I'm still learning every day.
I mean, with everything, we're always still learning, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Big time.
Well, and I've learned a few things about y'all along the way as well. And Ryan, you're from Eastern Kentucky, I believe. Maggie from Southwest Virginia, not West Virginia, Southwest Virginia. So what impact did growing up in Appalachia have on y'all? Because, those that grow up in the mountains in those areas, I feel like life was a little different than, say, growing up in Lexington.
Well, shit, hell yeah. I mean, we had to drive like a good 30 minutes to Walmart. And when Walmart came into the area of Wise, Virginia, that was a big deal, you know. But just I I know that when I was a child, I was definitely more I wasn't as proud, to be from Appalachia. Um, just because, you're a kid and popularity and all the things, yada yada. I guess I didn't really it didn't click until I moved away that I really like appreciated where I came from. And just not just relating to music and that, but just as people, it taught me how to be humble, taught me how to, like care for my community. And I think a lot of Appalachian people feel that way.
Yeah, man, Appalachian people get this bad rap in the news, and it's just totally, it's totally opposite of what I see here. I mean, I still live here. Uh, but what I see is people like working hard and figuring out ways to make a living in a place where there's not a lot of ways to do that. I mean, they're crafty, smart people around here. And,
Yeah.
Growing up here, yeah, I think I was in my 20s before we had cell phone service in town, even. I still don't have it here where I live in the county. Uh, so, I mean, it's not like you can just sit around on your phone or on the computer. It's like you got to make your own fun. And one good way to do that was, if you got a guitar, I mean, you can sit around for hours doing that. And I think that's why so many great players come from here and great songwriters, because there's a lot of hardship too, just hard work, which is, a great place to start when you're writing songs. and also a lot of time to sit around and reflect and practice your instrument. I think you're saying you had Britt Taylor on and somebody else.
Yep, Tyler Booth from
Yeah,
Campton down there. Yeah,
Tyler's from right down the road, and Britt too. She's from Knott County. So I mean, Sturgill, Stapleton. I mean, the list goes on and on. Tyler.
I was gonna say there's a lot along that. There's a couple of roads that go through there, and just a few decent names that have come out of there, and for y'all, one, mentioning some of them, but two, you mentioned the bluegrass, you mentioned the church music. So what music did y'all grow up on, have an impact on y'all even to this day? Because I also heard some rock and roll in there, and so I'm guessing that it might be an eclectic mix that you guys grew up on.
I like to refer myself as a mutt when it comes to music. Yeah, my mom, she was big influence for me. She would do like a trivia thing, if we'd be riding around back in the mountain or something. She'd listen to classic rock radio station. I think out of Johnson City. And she would quiz me, who sings this song, who's playing that guitar, or who's singing it, this and that. So she definitely had a big play in my influences. Bonnie Raitt, she was the one who introduced me to Bonnie Raitt and Susan Tedeschi, and from there, I just kind of, or prior, I would say, like, I definitely tried to be the cool, like, hippie girl in school. and I immediately, like, I always loved Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin was like my go-to. But then when I discovered all these soulful female powerhouse singers, it was just like no brainer. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. I remember my dad had this big shelf it's just full of CDs, and he would get this catalog. I don't know if y'all remember that, but like you could pick out like 5 CDs a month or something, and they would send them to you, and he used to let me pick 1 or 2. And
Cute.
he always loved, Skinner and the Stones and Grand Funk Railroad and all this cool Southern rock stuff. But it's easy to forget that in the 90s when we were growing up, like, popular music was rock music. Like the pop, if you listen to pop radio, it was Matchbox 20 and like Blues Traveler. I mean, it was rock bands on the radio. It wasn't this overproduced. I don't want to say overproduced. It wasn't this like heavily produced pop music like you hear today. It was like 5 dudes with guitars and stuff.
He sounds like he's hating on pop music, but he is a pop girl, queen, lover. He loves pop music more than I do.
Yeah, she lies too. She loves it.
Well, I mean, but you're not wrong, grunge. I mean, well, because I love asking too. As I mean, I'm in my upper 30s. Some of the guests I'm talking to are a little younger than that. On occasion, like early 20s, and I'm like, oh boy, are we gonna have anything in common? But it's funny because even up until this day, a lot of them though, they all had a rock band at some point. At some point, I feel like rock touched somebody's life in music because it's just it's good music.
Yeah.
Rock and roll lives inside of us all, man. It just you got to let it out. You can't keep yourself closeted in the rock closet. Let it out.
I love that. If you don't put that on a T-shirt, you should. Don't get stuck. Let yourself out of the rock closet. Now, Maggie, when you were working on making what ended up becoming Magnolia Boulevard happen, I believe that was back in 2017. You were playing in a bluegrass band, but you were kind of wanting maybe a little more rock, some other things. So what kind of happened then that led to meeting Ryan and Magnolia Boulevard becoming born?
Todd Copeland. He's the reason. Um, Todd and I actually worked in the Amazon warehouse returns portion together, and things had kind of slowed down. And I just kind of moved to Lexington, just got familiar with all the music people around, and so I was like, yeah, I'd really like to, try to. I'll just say this too. I was always very intimidated by the musicians here in Lexington. One, probably because I was so young, and then two, because they're just really experienced heavy hitters. Like everybody that Todd knew was everybody that had led like the Lexington music scene for a really long time. So I was really intimidated to like do anything or like branch out on my own for the longest time. And Todd and I, once the idea came around, he was like, we really got to do something. We got to really like give you a platform that you can really like elevate your vocals, And yeah, it just kind of this band was most definitely Todd Copeland's baby. He, for years and years and years has played in and around Lexington and all kinds of different bands. And this was the one that he was like, put your foot down on the gas, like let's go. So definitely got to give him credit for that. And it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Todd.
Well, I was going to say that's pretty fitting because, as special as he was to the group, unfortunately he's not with us anymore. And, y'all have spoken about how devastating it was to lose him. But you're still moving forward, in his honor and his memory. And what's it kind of like to continue to pursue those goals that you all had with Todd and see where this thing can go?
Man, okay, let me think about how I'm going to say this. My confidence levels as a musician has never really been that great. And just in life in general too. I'm a big overthinker, constantly very critical of myself. Da da da. But Todd, he really pushed. He was like, no, like we have something here, and then when things started to progress and whatnot, and I'm like seeing a lot of good things pop up, I'm like, oh damn, this is actually possible, So I think for me, anyways, just continuing to live out his dream, it's just another additive. And then also his encouragement, and not just his, but anybody's. Like it's starting to really like, okay, settle in. Like I am capable of this, and I'm going to continue to do this because this is what I want to do. So I don't know that actually answered your question, but I tried.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of cool stuff with Todd too. And like Maggie said, he really believed in this project more than anybody, and he had a really good job at UK, retirement and everything, and he asked for some time off for some shows, and they wouldn't give it to him, and he just quit. So like, he had a killer like growing up job, and just quit it. I mean, he really, really believed in it, and I'm really glad that we got to do some of the things we did with him. Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. He's worked so hard for decades.
I was gonna say, I mean, he got to play Railbird, which if anyone doesn't know is an amazing festival, 2-day festival in Lexington, and I think he got to do it at Keeneland before he moved to Red Mile, which is even more cool and more memorable. And for y'all, I mean, you think about everything you guys have done, where you're like, well, he had this idea. Well, you guys have done some cool things. You've won some Lexington Music Awards. You've won at Floyd Fest, the best on the Rise competition, things like that. So I mean, to get those honors as well with him, and then kind of see where it goes next. I mean, that had to be pretty rewarding, because I mean, like you guys said, I mean, it showed you were on the right track.
Yeah. And I feel like all of those things kind of happened like bam, 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 bam. And then COVID. And then Todd passed away the following year, So we've had a lot of really, really great opportunities given to us, and we've also had a lot of really crazy roller coaster moments as well. But damn, if that doesn't make it more gratifying, like we haven't stopped. Especially this year, and I love that. Especially it being our the year that we released our full length album. I mean, it really is. It's just all very special.
Yeah, we've always felt good about what we were doing. I mean, I've always liked the band, but just because something's good doesn't mean it's going to work. I mean,
Yeah.
see it all the time. Great bands playing in empty rooms for nobody. Like, what's going on? There's just so much to it. But I don't think that anybody will be able to say about us that we didn't work hard or earn what we had, because we really have. We ran into some bad luck, and we're just powering forward, man.
Ryan's put up with my shit for almost 9 years now. What? What is that? That's crazy.
That's almost a decade. That's a long time when you start going from years to a whole new word. I mean, that's a long time.
Dude, yeah.
He's shaking his head like, I don't know how I did it either.
It just feels like a lifetime ago. So
Yeah.
much has changed.
We're babies.
Yeah, now you have a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not even a baby. You have like a kid now.
He's like a person now.
Yeah, like
I've got one of those, and it's mind blowing how fast time happens. And I think for y'all, like, Ryan, I think I read at one point you talked about, when you first heard Maggie sing, you had a chance to reach a lot of people, and you guys talk about the wild roller coaster ride that is, the music industry. I mean, almost a decade in, when you get the chance to ever look back at that journey from, broken down vans to empty dive bars to, now playing on stages, having a second Friendsgiving show at the Burl, an album release thing at the Burl. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I mean, to do all that, I mean, it's pretty cool to look back at that journey. I mean, I know we're still at the start of the climb, but I mean, it's still kind of cool to see the journey so far.
Yeah, man, it's so many bands and people I know have worked so hard for so long and still haven't got to where we are now, and we still feel like we got a long way to go. I think Pip's about to start hacking the hairball up back here. But
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, when I heard Maggie's voice, I knew that was something not typical. Like, this is something that's, you can't just, like Dwayne said one time, you don't just go out in the backyard and pick somebody like that off the Maggie tree, So, it's not something that comes along all the time. So I knew it was something different.
Well, it's
Hot Pip.
Hey, I can't say anything last night, Monday night when I was recording an episode. I had a cat dive bomb in my door back here in the studio, trying to get in because she figured out how the handle works to the door. So, hey, things happen on the show. You just never know what's going to happen. Now, I do have to ask, Magnolia Boulevard, where did the name come from Was it a simple one that y'all created? I mean, because I've heard some people, they're like, man, we were going to our first show, couldn't figure out anything, saw a sign, and that's what it was. I mean, how did it work for you all?
Oh, just like that. Yeah, we we struggled really hard to figure out a band name. And like, don't get me wrong, like I like it now. This at this point, I didn't like it for the longest time. Because it's just like it's a hard one. I mean, people still can't say the word boulevard, let alone spell it.
No, I had a lot of red lines on the notes.
One time we had a like a MC guy announce us on the mic, and it was like Mongolian Boulevard or something like that. So, granted, I like it now, and we're definitely Magnolia Boulevard, but we struggled for a very long time to figure out a name, and I think we played a couple shows without a band name, right?
I don't think so. I think
Or maybe,
I think we just had to do it. We had a show coming up, and we were arguing about it. And finally, I was just like, I don't care what y'all call it. Call it whatever you want. And I think Todd named.
I think Todd was the one that was like, Boulevard is just like a really strong word, just it's a strong word. So we just kind of went from there.
It looks good
A
on
lot
a
of people,
shirt.
it does. A lot of people too. Also had a magnolia tree in my backyard at the time too. So I don't know. But a lot of people wanted. Or is it Magnolia Boulevard? Because you're Maggie, and I wish I was that cool, but really, there's no relation at all.
Well, and that's why I love asking that, because you just never know. Because I mean, it could be as simple as, yeah, that was where we practiced. It was Magnolia Boulevard. That's how it worked. Or, we saw the sign going down the street. Like, you just never know. And it's funny to hear how those things come together. And once you get it for a while, I don't want to say stuck with it necessarily, but you're kind of stuck with it, because once you're into it, that's a whole lot of things to change. Like, it blew my mind when someone just dropped like the first name off of a band name, Reed Southall band, dropped it down to Southall, and I was like, that's crazy, because you're at a big enough level that I feel like everything changes, all your links, all your everything. So.
And we've got a lot of friends that's who we are. We've had a lot of friends, and we've seen it. Like, they've changed their name for whatever reasons, and then just became a nightmare. They lose all their numbers for streaming or whatever, and just very unfortunate situation. So I like the name. We're going to keep it.
Worked out okay for Watch House.
Yeah, it worked okay. Well, yeah.
Every now and then. Now, some things just work out. Some things are meant to be. I think something that apparently just was meant to be in y'all's life was PSR Guitars founder, CEO Paul Reed Smith. Meeting him at the local guitar shop. I can't remember its name. I know it's on Southland. Drive by it all the time. Meeting him and leading to an endorsement for you, Maggie, and just some other cool things.
Yeah, Will Cut's Guitar Shop here in Lexington. Turns out they are one of, which doesn't surprise me. Also now, looking at the amount of, like, seeing with my own eyes, the amount of guitars that they have is just nuts. But they are one of the biggest PRS guitar distribution shops in the United States, which is, I think, is really cool for a tiny little music shop. But Wilcott had their 50th anniversary party where they had like a couple different reps from a couple different guitar companies come, and yada yada. We got to give big props to Brandon Bowles, because he's the one that recommended that we play that show. And yeah, from there, Paul just kind of fell in love with us, I guess. And
when I say, for those that don't know, PRS. Other people had reps there. He is PRS. Like he is the guy.
Yeah, he created this type of guitar, and it is quite literally his. It's a big company. If I'm being completely honest, though, I didn't really know a whole lot about PRS guitars going into all this. Little, country bumpkin baby that was playing acoustic music for so long, didn't really know. But I love the guitars. I love them. And yeah, huh?
They're like the third biggest electric guitar company in the world, behind Fender and Gibson. And Leo Fender's been dead a long time, and Gibson's been dead a long time. PRS is still very much alive.
He's still very much.
Yeah, and still
Yeah.
alive.
So how I landed a guitar endorsement period is already a big question. But I think Paul just really, really loved us, and like I said, fell in love with not just us but our music. And I think it was just like a couple weeks after we played that show, he invited us to go and play Experience PRS, which is in Annapolis, Maryland. It's like a huge showcase for their guitars at their factory in America. And I'd never even been on a plane before, ever in my life. And he flew the whole band up to play Experience PRS, like just a couple weeks after that. And then after that, just kind of, I don't know. He's just been a really big supporter of this band for a while now, and we're very grateful for his friendship. I call him Uncle Paul.
Hey, that's a good uncle, and like you said, I mean, in addition to the endorsement and things like that, I mean, he's helped you out on some EPs, whether that's producing or mixing and mastering. I mean, that's someone that's dedicated to y'all and likes what you're doing.
Yeah, he's a good one to have in your back pocket. That's for sure.
He's been a good buddy. He knows how to eat some soft shell crabs too. He can give you a tutorial.
I mean, he is in Maryland, right on the bay.
Yeah, he's got a really good seafood place at the end of his road, maybe a quarter mile from his house. They bring in the crabs like straight off the boat, straight up the steps. Awesome. Speaking
my language on that. I love that. And something else that I love, in addition to a good crab, is good music. You guys are making that. Your debut LP, Magnolia Boulevard, out November 28th, so a month from when this episode drops. And I believe y'all said these songs mean so much to you all because they are you. They show the tribulations, trials, all the good things, bad things that have happened over time. So what can fans expect when that album drops at the end of November?
What do you say, Ron Allen?
I was about to ask you the same thing. I don't really know. I think you're
ready to share it, right?
Yeah.
We weren't really. I don't think we really know what we're doing. We just write songs that feel good and that we like, and it seems like they end up fitting together.
Yeah, it kind of this whole album, we didn't, like Ryan was saying, we didn't really have a plan. And then as we go on in recording this album, then we start to realize the similarities that some of the songs share. And all of them kind of highlight just like endurance and strength and almost like a perseverance, just vibe all around. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think people are going to like it a lot, and I'm also just really, really happy to have our very first full-length album ever, and hearing myself on vinyl was really cool. Also, just very gratifying. And I can only hope that everybody likes it, so, or
Yeah,
loves it. And
get the vinyl because it sounds really good. We just listen to it.
I love that. Well, and being able to listen to it, you guys have put out a few songs, about half of what people can hear. One of my favorites that is out now is It's About Damn Time, which I think kicks off the album. Fantastic way to kick off the album. I know you just put out Devil You Know, another great song. So why did you want to share some of those songs like It's About Damn Time, Devil You Know, I think Spellbound, a couple others, to kind of give that taste? What led you to those songs to give a taste of what people can expect?
go ahead, you answer, Ryan.
I think we wanted to pick ones that kind of showed the diversity on the album. It's not just a bunch of songs that all sound the same, which would be fine if it was. I mean, if you do it right. I think somebody asked Angus Young one time, like, how do you feel about AC/DC making the same album 12 times in a row? He's like, it's bullshit. We made the same album 13 times in a row. It's fine because it's AC/DC. It's awesome. But we come from so many different places. It's not just a rock band. We come from the bluegrass world, and we like folk songs and story songs and country songs, and we just kind of wanted to show that maybe there's a little something for everybody on here. That was
Yeah,
what I was thinking anyway.
it's exactly what I was going to say.
I read your mind.
See, that was not what I thought either of you were going to say. I was thinking it was the other answer of, we just threw things out there. I don't know, like that, because that's how the album came together. No, but I mean, it's a fantastic listen, and the songs that haven't come out that people are going to get to experience for the first time. Trying to think of here, Man Over, Nomad, Anything, are really amazing songs as well. I mean, so for the whole album, what can fans expect on what they haven't heard that may be a little different than what they have heard, or maybe it's like you said, something similar as they get to see the whole package that you guys put together.
Your turn, Maggie.
They're definitely all relative, as I was saying. And it's, even though I just described it as somewhat of a theme, it's not really themed. Um, but the strength and resilience part is definitely like shining bright there. But I don't know. For me, the ones that people haven't heard, I think they're really great songs that are going to pull on your heartstrings in a big way. And Ryan wrote one of my favorite songs. I'm really, really excited for that one to be released. So that's all I'll say.
Which one's that?
Anything.
Aha.
The ones that haven't come out yet, I think maybe are some of the more introspective ones. They're a little emotional, but it's all still part of the story. It's just navigating tough situations and finding ways to be content or still stay hopeful. It's like Maggie said, it's about perseverance, and I hope people can relate. I think they can. It's a tough time for a lot of people. So
I was gonna say, I think they definitely can, and it kind of shows to me that the Appalachia roots. I mean, where you guys come from, what everyone's gone through. I mean, and it's not just Appalachia; it's everywhere. Everyone's gone through the ups and downs of life, and you talk about the songwriting, the song creation process for y'all. Sharing those experiences. I know Maggie, one of the songs that's not on the album, "More," it was written about you, kind of for your daughter. I mean, what's it like to kind of share those types of things and those personal things out there into the world, for people to enjoy and maybe see a little bit of themselves in those songs?
Well, you just said it just then. For people to be able to resonate something for themselves, it's also just very, very wholesome and gratifying for me. Um, but I've definitely struggled in the in my past with songwriting, and I think a lot of it contributed to the fact that I didn't want to let people know every little nook and cranny, of my life. Um, and I think I even said that to Ryan too, because a lot of times I'll start something and send it to him, and he'll finish it or yada yada. But I feel like I've said before, like I feel like I'm being too personal. Like I feel like I'm letting out all my dirty laundry.
Letting them see the
And
diary.
yeah, and he said the same. He's like, write it out. Like this is a form of therapy almost for you to be able to like release that. So, um, yeah, I don't know that I answered your question again
You did. You
correctly.
did. Because I mean and you're not the first person to tell me. They're like, instead of paying for therapy, I write it down and share it out with the whole world, and it works, and people do see themselves in those songs because they go, oh, I'm not the only one going through that.
Right. Yeah. And when with more the song more that just came out naturally, obviously. I'm expressing my love for my little baby girl, and it's we have a couple of songs. People will come up and say, I really appreciate this song because I play this to my kid every night and it helps him go to sleep. Or like I played this song and it helped me like reconcile a relationship with an estranged family member or something. So like it could be anything. But again, just having something that somebody else can relate to. It's like a light in a darkened room. And yeah, pretty happy with that.
Well, I was going to say, Ryan, I think you mentioned at some point too that the new music is kind of serving the song now, quote unquote, and people are, connecting in a way they haven't and have that deeper connection. Why do you think that is, and where's that come from? Is it just, Maggie and y'all kind of, letting the diary out to the world?
Yeah, I think the lyrics are definitely more intentional now. I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade, but you can go to a jam band concert and it might be 3 hours long, and you might not hear one song the whole time. Like, and we kind of were in that world, I think, for a while at the start, uh, and we still are, I think, a band that jams and can play jam band festivals and stuff. But we wanted I think we really wanted to make an effort to like concentrate on our songs, because I think that's what sets you apart. Um, I mean, that's what, when you think about the greats like the Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers and stuff, like they just had a bunch of great songs, and that's why people. I mean, yeah, they were jam bands, but people love those songs, really. Um, and we knew that's something that we needed to focus on, and the band has all really rallied behind that too. Uh, just what can we do to drive this point home? Uh, you know, Dynamically, or should the solo be here? Should we add a bridge here just to make this more emotional? Like, how can we set this line up perfect? You know, prop up this great singer singing a great song. That's kind of what our goal is now. And I think we're getting there. I
Well,
really
it's
think
coming.
the new album's great.
I was gonna say it's coming across in the if that's the goal, it's coming across in the new album. It's a fantastic listen, and yes, I have a soft spot for Lexington, but I also have a really soft spot for good music, and that's what you guys are putting out. And for you talk about it's one thing to put out the music, it's another to play it live for folks. So what's the best part about being on stage and bringing a show to folks and giving them a live experience?
Man, it's a great feeling. It sometimes, especially if we're all in the pocket and everything's feeling good, it is most definitely like, and I don't want to sound too hippy dippy, but it can be like somewhat of like an outer body experience in some ways. Like you're just in it. The audience feeding back their energy from it also is just, it's kind of unexplainable. I just, I don't know. I appreciate all the feedback that we get at every show, and it just makes it more, it just, what's the word, validating that we are doing good things, and maybe that's for the greater good. I would hope so. One day down the line, that our music can change, the hearts of people in some way, somehow, for the greater good. So,
Yeah, man, it's if all you do is spend your time on your phone or watching the news or something, it could be really easy to convince yourself that this world is not a very good place, But if you're in a room like packed full of people and the crowd and the band is really vibing together as one big group of like 300, 400 people or whatever, like that's the farthest thing from your mind, like what's going on, like halfway across the world or whatever. Like
yeah,
that's as present as you can be, and like Maggie said, it feels like a good service. It feels like a good, valuable thing to be doing.
Well, and you're about to go on some tour dates here. By the time this comes out, I think you'll be hitting a bunch of shows in November, December. One of those in November is a pretty special one. It's a special album release party / second annual Friendsgiving show at the Burl here in Lexington, which, folks, if you haven't hit up the Distillery District 1, also hit up the Burl campus because, they got arcade, they got a brewery now with, I'm pretty sure, a hazy IPA. I think JR is doing a pretty good job over there, and they've also got the music venue. So how cool is it for y'all to be doing the album release party, the Friendsgiving show, all at the same time in your hometown of Lexington?
man, it definitely just fell right into place, But it's definitely a good feeling to be able to release a full length and also to share that whole experience with our hometown. These people have stuck it through us, or stuck it through us, stuck it through with us.
That way with words finally came out. It took 53 minutes, and she finally hit it.
Yeah.
Stuck with us, stuck it with us. Oh my
They stuck with you.
They've been hanging in there like hair in a biscuit for a long time. And I'm very grateful. That's all I'm gonna say. Ryan, you take it.
Oh yeah, man. It makes so much sense that it's on Thanksgiving too, because it just feels like a big family reunion, and we're at the point now where we don't really play Lexington very often, so it just feels like coming home for the holidays, and it feels wholesome and good, and the weather's always really nice. I think it's better to have a show when it's cold, a little bit cold outside. Some of our best shows have been
Fourth
because people like aren't hanging out smoking all night, they're like inside with us. And also this year they're making a beer. I think that'll be probably public knowledge by the time this comes out. They're making. I
by the
I
time
like
this
it.
comes.
They're making a spellbound hazy at the Burl Brew for this show. So
I
you
love
can
it.
enjoy some of those. They're 7.5%. So
Buddy, I
everyone
don't think I'm gonna. It's a lot of alcohol.
yeah,
The
you,
ABV.
You, you're gonna have
very
to wait
careful.
until after the show, right, Maggie?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you're in good hands with Jr. over there and the team. They make some good beer. They do some amazing things too at the music venue. And obviously, love to ask at the beginning what's your go-to drink. Hazy IPA. Clearly, I love the collaboration coming along, but also love to ask this song toward the end, and that is, what is your favorite song of y'all's to perform live right now?
Anything is mine.
Mm,
And you mean the song anything, not just anything. It is
yeah.
the
Yeah,
song anything.
the song on our album.
I love it.
I
Ryan,
really,
what's yours?
I really like the way Nomad's been going. It sounds a lot different than most of our other songs. It's really dynamic. There's a lot of big high moments with like big harmonies, and it's a great story, it's an emotional song, and it's nice to see people kind of dial in from dancing and having fun all night, and then they kind of just like focus, laser focus. It feels like we did something right with that one. I like that.
I love that each of you has a song that has not come out yet from the album that everyone gets to hear. So if that tells you how good the album is, two of their favorite songs are ones that they've held back from you to make you wait a little bit. And that album drops on the 28th. You got the show at the Burl on the 28th of November. You got some other shows along the way to close out the year. So obviously we're at the tail end of 2025, which is wild to think. So what else can folks expect from you, I guess, in the final couple months, but really on into 2026? Because you guys are doing some amazing things, and I'm guessing that's setting up for a fun 2026.
We
Yeah,
hope.
lots of
Fingers
shows.
crossed.
We'll be
What?
playing
What'd
lots
you
of
say?
shows in lots of places. So tell your friends that live wherever. We're probably going to be there.
Lots of shows, lots of places. Yeah, I'm I'm extremely happy, very proud of this group. Proud of Ryan and myself, because I feel like I've used the word grateful and gratifying this entire time, but it is very gratifying to finally have a full length, in the can, and now it's happening, and I just hope that it brings good things for the next year, and I think it will. So
Yeah, I think so too. And who knows, maybe you'll just have to do another one next year, right? Or the year after, maybe. I don't know.
maybe something like that.
I love that. They're like, yeah, I don't know about that. Hold on, that was a lot of work. No, it's fantastic work, by the way. I know you talk about saying grateful a lot. I've said fantastic. It's good music, folks. If you haven't listened, go down the rabbit hole. Give a listen to the early releases from Magnolia Boulevard LP, and then see what else they've put out, because they've put out some amazing songs. And if you're in town in Lexington around Thanksgiving, check out the Burl. If not, check out where they're coming to a city towards you. And Maggie, Ryan, cheers, and thanks for sharing a drink and a
Cheers.
little Lexington love, right?
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate you.
And Ryan, next time, make sure that fridge is full.
I will. Won't make the same mistake twice. Don't worry.